So we're on to the last question now. So let's take a look. Question number 4. Switch to the Pull tab and you'll be organizing an event and you need to know which days people can attend. Okay, so the days are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and you're going to use the count A function to see how many people responded. So let's go to the Pull tab here. Now for Tuesday, these are the students or the individuals that are able to attend for that day, and likewise for Wednesday and Thursday, and all we have to do is just simply add them up. Okay, so let's put in an equal sign in here, and we're just going to use the count A function. Again, we're just counting. That's all count A does. We sweep across, okay, and we close off the bracket and press enter, and we see there are 33 people who responded for Tuesday, and we have an OK there indicating that we did it correctly. And if we scroll down, we see 34 rows, but we're not starting at row 1, we're starting at row 2, so the number 33 is correct. Now, if we look at the question correctly, it says account for the possibility of unlimited names. So if we continue, okay, continue adding more names, that 33 should jump up. So Jim and Mary. Okay, now we have 35 names, but we need to adjust our formula. So let's go ahead and copy it. Right-click Copy. And there are two different ways of doing this. If you're doing it in Excel, there's one way. And if you're going to be doing this in OpenOffice, or not OpenOffice, but rather Google Sheets, there's a different way. So let's go through the two different ways. So if you're using Excel, you just get rid of the row reference. Okay, so we don't need the number 2. We don't need the number 34, and A to A just means the column, okay, column A. So we can copy that in there, and that's going to count everything in column A, and that's almost correct. It's about 99% correct, and because it's so close, we'll put it in there. Let's go ahead and paste it in, press enter, and well, we have 35 names here. Remember, we're starting at row 1, okay, and going up to row 36. So it's 36 subtract 1. We should have got 35 there, but unfortunately, it's including that very first row there, and we want to exclude it. Now, that's really easy when you're using Google Sheets, and we'll look at Google Sheets in a minute. But in Excel, you have to use something called an offset. And an offset is another long formula that we need to enter. And it kind of defeats the purpose. Yes, if you want it expressed in terms of a formula, there is a formula for it. But the whole point of Excel is to make life easier and not more difficult. So instead of writing in the offset, I'm just going to subtract 1. I'm going to subtract that first row. So let's go ahead, go back to that formula. Okay, double click. And I'm going to put a minus in there, -1, press enter, and we got a 35 in there. Now, we can pull that down, okay, and we can see we're not getting the right result if we double click, okay, A to A. So for whatever reason, that formula is not shifting over. So we're going to have to do this manually for each one. And don't be alarmed if you're in Excel and it doesn't say OK here. It's because it's using a different formula for Google Sheets. So don't be alarmed by that. We're doing it correctly. So let's calculate the same thing for Wednesday. Wednesday's in row B. So let's do a count A again. We sweep across all the names. There we go. Close it off. Press enter. Okay. And we get 25. We can very quickly, by inspection, verify it's correct. So we're going down to row 26. Minus 1 gives us 25. So it is correct, and we're getting an OK there. But we want to do the whole column, so we're going to make the same modification we did for Tuesday. Double-click on the formula, okay? Maybe it's a little bit hard to read, so you may want to copy it and modify it inside another document. So we're going to remove the row reference. We're going to remove the number 2, and we're going to remove the number 27. So B to B, that's the range of cells, and we press enter. And we get 26, which is one more than what we actually need. So what we need to do is put a -1 there, okay, to subtract the column heading. We don't want to count that. And we'll finish it off here with Thursday. So we put an equal sign in there. Count A, open bracket, sweep across. Okay, in this case, we see we're going to row 27, so there are 26 respondents. 26 people said that they can attend the class on that day. And we close off the bracket. Oops. Close off the bracket. Now, before I press enter here, I'm just going to manually, okay, remove the row reference. So C2, well, get rid of the row. And C27, get rid of the row again. C to C, that will include the whole row. And we subtract, now we just have to subtract 1. We press enter, and we get 26 respondents. Now, I mentioned that the way you would do it in Google Sheets is a little bit different. Okay, so in Google Sheets, yes, you can start at A2. Okay, that's the cell reference. You're starting at row 2 when you begin to count. The only difference here is if you're using Google Sheets and you want to continue all the way down the row, okay, what you would do is you would get rid of the row reference on the final cell. So there is no final cell here. We're going to start counting at A2, and we're going to go all the way down the column as far as we can. And you cannot use this in Excel. So this is how it's done in Google Sheets. And in the case of Microsoft Excel, you would subtract 1, or you would use a fairly complicated formula for the offset, which is what we don't want to do. That would be the easiest solution in Excel. So that's pretty much it. So make sure you finish that off from last week and upload it and go on to the new work for this weekend.